And it is 10:07 and time now for the Plain English Real Estate Show with your host, Rowena Patton.
Woohoo! Randy has a deep voice this morning, or was that Glenn Beck?
Oh, that was Randy, because he couldn't get somebody. That couldn't get Glenn to go this morning. So Randy
Glenn's sleeping in. It's Saturday morning.
There you go.
He's having a little rest. Well, thank you, Randy. I kind of like that intro, actually. We might have to do that again. And we have Alondra this morning. Good morning, Alondra.
Good morning, everybody.
Alondra keeps the office running. Alondra talks to sellers. Alondra talks to buyers. She's a fully licensed broker. And she's now an excellent real estate trainer who's helping all our new concierge agents. So we train agents at a very high level. It became clear to me over the years that, different places offer different level of training. And generally that training is in a big group and you go and sit once or twice a week maybe and listen to the training. We do it a little differently. We've always stayed small. And how many hours a day do you think you're spending with the new concierge agents?
I don't really count my hours. I just get questions throughout the day.
All day long.
Yeah, all day long, pretty much.
And same here. I'm some days I'm spending 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes I'm spending half an hour. They all put reviews on each part that they're doing, and then we go back through. So it's pretty intense for the first month, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It has been pretty intense.
I think for the first week, too, people are wondering what on earth they've stepped into because I've never seen anything like this.
Yes.
But it's really how you get trained at a higher level. And we get to know more about you as sellers and buyers and not just, you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, because we can help you at a higher level.
Oh, yes.
When we know more things, especially when so many people are coming in from outside the area. You're dealing with 12, 13, 14 people a day that are signing up on the website, that are calling in, probably more than that if you add all the calls in as well. What percentage of those, Alondra, would you say are outside our area?
Oh, a big percent.
Over half, right?
Yeah, over half.
Yeah.
For sure. Everybody's looking to move into Asheville, and over half.
Well, looking to move into Asheville, but I think that's because they've all heard of Asheville.
Yes. And some people have visited Asheville and they just fell in love with it. So, yeah.
And who can blame them, really? However, there are lots of small towns. We went through yesterday talking to somebody who wants Asheville because they've been to Asheville. And I said, well, what do you like about Asheville? Well, we want to walk our dog downtown. Great. That's lovely. I think that's... I'm trying to remember the name of the dog now. It's a Yorkie. I know that. Want to walk the little dog downtown and totally get it. What else do you like? Well, we like eating out at restaurants sometimes. I really want to walk my little dog down and get my coffee in the mornings. And that appealed to me when I lived in Miami many years ago. I lived right on what I call the Ramblas, which is, now I forgot what it's actually called. There's a big... Okay, maybe that can be our first trivia question. There's a big pedestrianised street that goes across, that's basically been blocked up so you can walk up and down it with lots of restaurants and shops either side, and it stretches for blocks. And it's like the Ramblas in Barcelona. It's very funny. I can remember the Ramblas in Barcelona. That's what it happens when you're not 19 anymore. And I can't remember. Lincoln Road, there you go. I used to live on Lincoln Road. Take my little dog, my mini dachshund, Uma, down for a coffee in the morning. And because it's Miami, you could get down there at 10 o'clock, although my coffee was usually at 7 o'clock in the morning. You could get down there at 10 o'clock, everyone's asleep. Because it's Miami. No one wakes up early.
Wow.
Because they've all been out the night before.
Oh, I love it.
So I just sit down there and have my coffee and, be able to ramble up and down. I guess that's why it's called the Ramblas. It's the Lincoln Road, the Ramblas of Miami. It was awesome. So I totally got what he was saying. And I said, tell me more about what you're looking for. And he said, well, I want an old-fashioned heart of a downtown. Now, if you don't know the area, you're not thinking, that could be Weaverville. That could be Hendersonville. That could be Black Mountain. That could be Waynesville. It could almost be Mars Hill. Where am I missing? Where am I missing with the heart of a downtown?
Arden?
Well, Arden's got... So heart of downtown is like that main high street, like Cherry Street in Black Mountain, where you can walk up and down the sidewalks. It's very much sidewalk driven. and you've got shops either side. It's all about actually parking your car and walking. And now I'm having to reach
Brevard.
high here.
Brevard, yeah.
Absolutely.
Saluda, Tryon, the southern Landrum, that area.
Part of a downtown, though. There's a downtown where
Landrum has a nice downtown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You just taught me something, didn't you?
Go to the Fox and the Hound. It's nice.
Ooh, go to the Fox and Hind or the Fax and Hind.
Brevard. Okay.
Definitely Brevard.
Yeah. Marshall, downtown Marshall is a Hart Street, and there's things happening there.
But how would you define a heart of downtown? I'm having to reach high to think about it here.
Really
I think we all know what I mean, but a main street.
A main street, yeah.
You might have some side streets off it. However, I think what defines it is a pavement. What do we call pavement? Sidewalk.
Yes.
What else we call it?
And Fletcher is becoming a
Yes, it
downtown.
is.
It's becoming. They're working towards that.
I'm very excited about that because I live in Mills River and I'm right there.
Yeah, on the Fletcher Town Square, the new buildings where Fletcher Hardware was, all of that excavation there, that's going to be an apartment and
is that what it
commercial.
is?
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
And Longsholes going down there towards, stretching, going right down there towards Fletcher. It's very interesting. Mathala Jewelers just moved down there.
Right.
Do you know the story of those guys? It's amazing.
They're Brevard, aren't they? Transylvania.
Well, he actually set up shop in Biltmore Park. They had the N unit in Biltmore Park. Absolutely beautiful jewelry store. And the reason I mention it is because he makes a lot of his own jewelry. And his wife, I haven't actually met his wife. It's just a typical, I'm so sorry if you're listening, and I'm grateful if you're listening. He's a good-looking, youthful, early middle-aged man with a beard, kind of mountain man-like, local artist-like, but well-groomed. And he designs and makes his own jewelry, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm sure his wife is a rock star and absolutely gorgeous too. I've seen pictures of her. She's his marketing machine. And they've moved out of, I think they didn't want to pay those big leases in Biltmore Park. And they built, it's down by United Federal on the main road there.
I travel that one every day, and I've watched them move there and develop that old bank into a beautiful building.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It really, really is.
I want to live there. It's so gorgeous. And it's very simple. It's all that weathered planking and metal and just an absolutely beautiful building. So, and the best bank in the world, United Federal, is just down there too. And I've been to, all United Federals are great. I walk in there, they greet me by name. Where does that happen?
Yeah, I know.
It is not a bank experience at all.
I got some friends there. I bank there too. It's great people.
So,
and speaking of the downtowns, Biltmore Park, you brought it up.
Biltmore Park, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we've got Reynolds Village.
Yes.
Reynolds Village.
Biltmore, the shops in Biltmore Village.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Biltmore Village, yes. How do we miss that one? We live here, for goodness sake. But it's when you start thinking about it like that, and these... I was thinking of little old-fashioned downtowns like Black Mountain. That was always a killer one for me.
Yeah.
And Weaverville's very same. I think they're the most similar in flavour when you go to those downtowns. There's usually an ice cream shop. Yeah. There's usually lots of little independent shops because the big chains can't make it there, although there is a Kilwins in Black Mountain. Black Mountain's so, well visited. It's one of the most visited towns in the area, even though it's a little town. It's a population of 3,000 people.
Really? I love
outside the summer, and then they all come in, of course.
I've spent some wonderful time at the old Monte Vista Hotel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, we've also got Montreat right next door, which really may as well be Black Mountain, but all the Montreat people are shaking their fist at me right now, aren't they? And that's where Billy Graham's summer house was, of course.
His year-round
home. Year-round home, yes. Yeah. And there are lots
it's for sale. No. I saw it's a cabin-like place, and a couple of months ago I saw it was for sale, and I'm sure it's gone now.
So if you're looking for Billy Graham's home, well, things have slowed down a little bit. If you're looking for Billy Graham's home, we'll find it for you. Give us a call, 828-333-4483. If not, we'll find you something very like it in Montreat, or you can go to, if you want to see the Montreat homes, because they are of a certain style, many of them were built as summer homes even 10 years ago, over half of them weren't insulated. And over the years, they've really been improved, and now they're going for a lot of money, but they're absolutely beautiful to look at. Go to mountainhomehunt.com, type Montreat, they'll all pop up for you. I'm sure some are available right now. Maybe I'll even take a look in a second. Is our big World Wide Web working this morning, Randy?
Yeah, just kick it on the left side over there a little bit. Yeah.
Kick it on the left? Okay.
That's called a technical fine-tuning. Yes, fine-tune it a little. Kick it.
Yeah, it's always that. We need the technician in here. What's the first thing we need to do? Unplug it and plug it back in. Which usually works.
Yes.
So we added Reynolds Village and Biltmore Village, or any more we can think of. Reynolds and Biltmore.
Boom, 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 boom.
So there are lots of little downtowns with that, and
Yes.
you know, Biltmore Village isn't really a downtown. But it's that sort of walking area where you can grab a pint, grab a glass of wine, grab an ice cream. I'm trying to think where the ice cream place is there. There's usually a bank. You know, it's all that stuff going on in a small, convenient area where you can actually walk. I guess because they came from back in the days when you only did walk. You didn't have a car, or only the highfalutin folks had a car. If you think of Biltmore Village, for example, it's got all of the stables in there built into... They're not called stables, are they? There's another trivia question. I'll keep throwing them out to you. 240-9962. The archways where you put the horses right by the side of your house.
Oh, yeah.
Those. Biltmore Village is full of those. So if you know what those are called, give us a call at 240-9962. You can win... What can you win? You can win a free mask. You can win a cocktail at an amazing restaurant, Jargon. You could win a $25 gift voucher for French fries. That's like feeding the family.
Oh,
I love that one.
is.
Pretty cool. And Johnny Mac will give you something too. Will at Johnny Mac's. We haven't figured out what the prize is this week. And he said this year. So also, let's give a shout out to Johnny Mac's in Fletcher. I recently discovered Johnny Mac's. I'm almost embarrassed to say that. It's sort of tucked off around the side a little bit. If you all know where the lamps and something is, it's where they
Fletcher lamp post.
Is that what it's called? Fletcher lamp post?
Yeah.
So if you need a lamp or a light fixture or anything like that fixing, I guess they sell them as well.
Keith Coyne is his name. He owns that shop and has run it for many, many years. Has lamp shades. Bring your lamp. He always says, bring your lamp.
Oh, yes.
We'll fit a shade to it, you know.
You want a bigger shade than you think. That's the trick.
And he does lamp repair, too.
You'll go out to Home Depot and buy those little bitty shades, and they look so silly on a big lamp base. They just look silly. When you have a giant one, they look really cool. So, yeah, get a bigger one than you're thinking about.
He's got a bunch of lampshades in there.
He does, and he fixes, he mends all the fixtures, too, and mends your lamps, and I think light fixtures as well. That's where a lot of people know that mall, I mean, it's a little...
Strip center,
yeah. So that's where Johnny Mac's is. It's tucked around the corner. He has amazing barbecue. Go see him. You can't go see him this weekend because he's closed because of the Apple Festival going on. And because everybody's at the Apple Festival, but he will be open again on Tuesday. So you can go in there and claim a prize. We'll figure out what it is by Tuesday.
Good shrimp po' boy, too.
While we're talking about trivia prizes, why don't you give us the official one for today? I was going to say the real one, but the last one's a real too.
Let me look at my notes. So I wasn't sure how many trivia questions I needed, so I just grabbed a bunch.
Good.
Okay, first trivia question. Where did the pineapple plant originated?
Ooh. Where did it come from? Where do we get a pineapple? I'll give you a second follow-up question on that. Fold up on it. Where does Randy Jackson have a pineapple hanging in his home? I inked a pineapple when I was, 22 or something. In fact, I handmade the paper. I used to be into all that stuff. I handmade the paper. It's a big, giant pineapple. And he has it hanging somewhere.
I'm guessing somewhere in the dining room.
No.
Huh.
It really should be facing the door because it's a welcome sign in the South, you know. But no, it welcomes him to a certain place every day, and it's not the bathroom. That would be funny, wouldn't it? That would be funny. We'll have another trivia question for you. Did we miss any downtown areas? Any areas that we can help the guy with that likes to walk his dog every day?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, tell us about that. Did we miss any? 828-240-9962. Or which one is your favourite? We'd like to hear which your favourite is. Can you give us some examples of where that might be, where the pineapple came from? Let's say South Africa. Let's say England. Let's say, give me a couple more. You want the real one and the not the real one?
No, the real one. North America.
North America. Or
South America.
South America. Okay, so one of those is real?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I wasn't sure. I know one of them it's not. I think. I'm not really sure either. Who knows? Where did the pineapple originate? 828-240-9962. The real question is, how do we know where it originated? Do you mean commercially or just, hanging out? Like, one day somebody was strolling down the street. It's like, what is that spiky thing over there? Oh, look, it's got a big orange thing on it. Let's chop that up and see if it tastes good.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder who tried the fruit first?
Now I am. I am wondering that.
We know Eve bit into the apple. We know that one, right?
Okay. All right.
But, all these trees have fruits, and then some bushes have some peculiar... Oh, let's do pepper. So pepper looks like a sort of spindly ivy that grows up a tree, and then it has tiny little balls that grow... Well, you've seen peppercorns. It has these tiny little seeds that grow on it. What? Who in their right mind was walking through the jungle and thought, I'll pull some of these and grind them up and sprinkle it on my food?
And it'll be delicious.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I have.
I'm thinking of the peculiar fruits, like potatoes. Who dug up a potato and thought,
out of the ground?
I better eat this. I mean, everybody must have thought they were crazy.
Well, I've had some of the similar feelings. It took me a long time to try avocado, and I'm mad at myself because I waited so long.
I love avocado.
I do too.
I found a new way to smush them. If you get them ripe enough, you can just take the seed out and squish them out with your hands. So hold the
half at a time.
Half it. I wouldn't know how else to. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways. But when you pull it out, take the seed out, hold the shell, and just like squish it with your hand. So you're holding the shell, and it all just squishes into the bowl.
Take the skin away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're making, guac or something.
I like that.
I love guac. Guac is one of my favorites to make over the weekend for just as snacks, and I'll put it in the fridge, and I'll just snack all day. Love guacamole.
I do too. I'm mad because I waited so long to try it. I love it.
Shame on you.
I know, right? So, I'll give you my snuffles update. They cancelled my appointment last week at the allergy centre.
Oh no!
The doctor was sick.
You wait so long. I'm right there with you. You wait so long, and they say, well, he's not going to be here that day. And so it takes another month to get back in the...
Well, Tuesday, fortunately. I had to go to one of the different locations. But therefore, apologies, everybody. That's why I sound like this. I ain't got the COVID because I've been like this for a year. So we're figuring it out, but my apologies that I sound like this. So... we also have a new segment today. We want you to honour your person in the police force or somebody in the police that helped you with something recently. We'd love to hear that story.
Okay, give us a call, and we'd like to know what downtown area we left out, and we'd also like to know who's the favorite lawman in your house.
Or woman.
Or woman, that's exactly right.
Or... we better get it right these days. It could be law they or...
law person.
Law person, there you go. I would think, actually, that law people go by... well, never mind, I'm not going to get into that one. However, we should talk about Bank of America because they have a new program launched, and we're all trying to figure it out right now. So the program is clearly aimed at blacks and Latinos. It's being aimed at Black and Latino neighborhoods to give affordable loan solutions from Bank of America. This isn't from some local bank or something. And as you can imagine, because it's Bank of America, because it's, obviously that's a big bank, it's creating quite a stir. So it's providing loans to lower income, and it's being lower income families, and it's being rolled out in over half a dozen neighborhoods. The most expensive one is Los Angeles. It's also being rolled out in Charlotte, which is only 2 hours from where we are. And it's literally targeting, so, the direct mail, the radio, everything is aimed at Black and Latino neighborhoods, which is kind of interesting. So, and that you can imagine, I mean, clearly it's going into housing discrimination. My theory in a lot of, a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of racism about, and racism is intrinsic in our society. And then it's sort of hard to point out, where did that all come from? And one of the biggest places it came from was real estate. So it was called redlining, and that was happening in the 50s and the 60s. And banks would literally take a red pen and they'd circle around an area where they would give loans to African Americans. It's literally called redlining, which meant that if you were black, you were buying in a certain neighborhood. Well, when you have, and these were low-value homes, because in their minds in the 50s, if you were black, you were more likely to default on your loan, you couldn't afford a house, all that kind of stuff. All those things that went on 70, 80, 100 years ago. So what that meant was a lot of people ended up moving into lower income areas. Well, when you've got a lower income area, that lower income forms a lower tax base for the schools, which means you've got a lower income school. Now, it doesn't mean to say that just because your school has less funding, it can't teach well. But clearly there's a correlation there, right? If you've got a school that's very well funded by massive tax dollars, you would hope there's a better education coming out of that. Of course, there are exceptions. There are absolutely exceptions to that. However, that would tend to continue what is happening. I would also argue, I'm just going to say this, that if you're African American, I know because I have lots of African American friends, they want to live in a neighborhood with other African Americans. We call it people like us. I would imagine that we have a Latina sitting here. Like, do you feel that might be the case with Latinos? So Latino. I mean, I don't think Latinos are going into a neighborhood and going, oh, they're all white here, or they're all black here. We don't want to live here. But do you want to live around other Latinos?
I don't know. I guess I haven't actually thought about that as a Latina.
Mm-hmm.
I get along with everybody, but I could see why some Latinos might want to live around other Latinos because of culture.
Yeah.
I don't know, different holidays, and just, different
Oh.
stuff. So that would make sense.
Right. And of course, we're broad brushing here. And it always amuses me because people go, oh, you're English, therefore you must cook bad food. It's kind of the same. It's this broad brush thing, I think I cook pretty well, actually. And I know Londra definitely cooks well. So we're broad brushing here. Of course, there are always exceptions. There are lots of exceptions, in fact. But I think it's and nobody ever has this conversation, do they? In fact, do you feel uncomfortable having this conversation?
No, I don't feel uncomfortable.
Good. I'm glad you don't. I wanted to make sure of that. I think it's a very natural thing, and I definitely English people don't go, oh, I want to. I mean, I'd be SOL, wouldn't I, if I were like, oh, I want to live around a whole bunch of English people because of the culture, because there aren't many English people here. It is interesting, though. It's a cultural piece, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So, and that, the funny thing is we can easily examine that, I think, in the Latino culture. So just lots of family orientation. And how do you see it as different to the average American family? Go on, do it.
Well, first of all, we can speak Spanish around, like around my household, we speak a lot of Spanish.
Yes.
And when you speak a different language, your brain does function differently, or you do see things differently in that language. So there is
That's
that
interesting.
difference. Yeah.
Can you give us an example on that?
Well, sometimes, I don't know, like sometimes if I know something in Spanish, I have to like explain it to myself so I can understand it in English.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense because there's American English and then UK English. I was going to say English, but UK English, and there's a whole dictionary about the different words, and there are particularly in phrases because there are phrases that just I don't think I can. Can I say? I can't ask Randy because then I'd have to say it. But there's a phrase that is taking the something in English. Can I say that, Randy? I'm whispering it to him. Probably not. I'm not going to say it. It's not too rude a word. It means a pee-pee. Taking the pee-pee. There you go. That'll do it. Okay. That'll work, won't it?
Yeah.
And it's a very commonly used phrase in England. And there's no way I can explain it other than it's sort of like give them an inch and they'll take a mile, sort of. It means when someone, you give somebody something, like you go a long way to, let's say, let them come in at 11 o'clock at work, right, in the morning, and then they come in at 11:30. That's like taking the pee-pee. It's a very, very commonly used phrase. And I have to explain, and of course I never use it here, but it's missing from my language in American English. So I think that's the kind of thing you're talking about, where there's a phrase and you can't explain it.
Yes. And I mean, in Spanish, you have different countries with different Spanish too.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's a lot of words that there's a difference. So, for example, banana. In Mexico, banana is pretty much called banana. But in other places, they call it plátano. So there's different words for different things. So,
yeah. Well, that's confusing. I had somebody very dear to me, Caesar, working on my last house to literally gut it in, I think I had 3 weeks to move in, and he took all the and all his friends came in, and he had someone from Guatemala, he had somebody from, like, he had 6 different nationalities from South America in with him, and they were just laughing and like ripping the pee-pee out of each other, just making fun of each other and poking at each other and, you know, being so detrimental to each other. And I grew up with that. My mom's best friend was black, and they'd be like yelling, terrible things to each other, actually. She always called my mom a white honky, and I don't think I can use the word the other way around. But it was perfectly, you know, she to my mom was like, your food is just bland and horrible. And my mom would be like, your food stinks. So I just grew up with that. So it's very natural to me. And I think when it's done in the right way, it's not unnatural at all. Do you see that between different South American cultures?
Tough love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's very interesting.
You just take this whole country and you blame them for not being as smart as your country and that kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you think of a phrase in Spanish, Alondra, that you'd have to explain to us?
Oh.
Any old phrase that you use in Spanish?
Oh, I know.
Because most of them don't translate. Most of those and we don't even know where the phrases came from. I mean, you think of those strange phrases that are used.
Can't think of any right now, honestly. Kind of got put on the spot.
Yeah, I blanked you, didn't I? Put you in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Don't forget, give us a call if you know Alondra's question, where did the pineapple originate? You might be surprised by that one. And maybe we gave you too many questions today. Let us know if we left out a town centre where you can actually walk downtown and you're not walking for more than half an hour. I guess that's the other thing. You don't want a great big... So you could call Hendersonville Road, I guess, a town centre, but you'd be walking a very long way down that road. And it's really designed around cars. You know, it's an urban area, more urban area that's south of Asheville. So I spent half an hour yesterday explaining to him the different areas around so that he could understand there was more. Not that we're against Asheville in any way, shape or form, of course not. But when they have more flavour to the area and when we're more able to coach our agents through those different areas, because some of our agents have only been here for a few years, to really get to know the rich history of all those areas. I think that's very powerful.
Burnsville, Hot Springs.
Oh, Burnsville. Burnsville's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spruce Pine. Boone. Banner Elk.
Boone's sort of too far, though.
Sort
it's a
of
little
too far.
out of...
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got Lake Lure as well.
Oh, yeah.
You can walk up and down in Lake Law.
Absolutely.
And then, each one of these areas has a different flavour to them. Like Boone is very, very busy during the spring and summer and fall, and it's very quiet during the winter, which means if you like to go out to eat, you're going to have much less of a choice. Some people prefer that. They like it when all the tourists go away and it's quiet. But that also brings other things like, the people that were working at the restaurants are no longer because they have shortened hours and that kind of thing.
It's a very busy day up in Boone today as the North Carolina Tar Heels invade Appalachian State. Starts at noon.
That's right.
Big game, big game.
And let's talk about the Apple Festival for a second, Randy.
The 76th Annual North Carolina Apple Festival underway right now in downtown Hendersonville, and it goes today and tomorrow. The Main Street will remain closed as the exhibitors tear down tomorrow night, and Monday, streets remain closed for the King Apple Parade at 2 o'clock, and that wraps it up.
Ooh, I'd forgotten about that one. So so explain what you can do when you're there, Randy.
Oh, the Apple Festival. Main Street, Hendersonville's closed off to vehicular traffic, and the both sides of the streets are lined with vendors. I think it's over 200 vendors, which includes a lot of Henderson County apple farmers who have brought their great crop. It's one of the best crops of apples in the last 10 years. Juicier, higher sugar content. All of the varieties are ripe. There's an abundance of apples and apple products, fried apple pies and apple butter and apple donuts. Oh, the apple cider donuts. That's the hit.
You had me at apple donuts.
They're great.
So if I go there, I'll gain 10 pounds today.
You walk it off going up and down Main Street.
I think just by the smell of them, I'll gain 10 pounds.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's a very difficult thing for me. I can't walk through the chocolate aisle at Ingalls without gaining weight.
I do the same thing. Why did I have to take this shortcut to the back of the store? It's the candy aisle.
I can smell it. I can literally smell it. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Are you guys going to the Apple Festival?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You are?
Yes.
What time are you going?
I'm not sure. Probably today. I'm going to go pick up my sisters and just make sure my dogs are taken care of. And then we'll probably head to the Apple Festival. If it doesn't rain, because it was sprinkling a little bit when I was coming over here on my way. So hopefully it doesn't rain.
Take an umbrella. There's
an umbrella.
There's about a 50-50 chance of afternoon showers. But they'll be quick and out of here.
That's summer. I mean,
that's exactly
you think you're
right.
making a lot of money as a weather forecaster now? Like, I could do that every single day. There's 50-50 chance of showers in the afternoon.
You got it.
Right? Good morning, Brad. Where are you calling in from today?
Canton, North Carolina.
Canton, North Carolina. We missed Canton, didn't we?
I think that's why Brad's calling.
I'm not calling because of Canton. Canton's nice and all, but I deliver beer for a living, so I get to drive around Western North Carolina quite a bit.
Oh.
And one of the coolest cities that I get to go to, and I think you're going to agree with me when I say this, is Bryson City.
Yes.
Great.
They got the Great Smoky Mountain Railway there, and there's hundreds of people that ride that through, the Nantahala National Forest.
Yes.
I noticed it stops down there at the Nantahala Outdoor Center where all the rafting is.
Yes.
And usually you'll see 300-400 people get off that train at one time, but there's so many cool eateries up and down the street, just a lot of really neat little places, a rooftop place at the brewery that you can actually order food at as well. It's just a really cool city.
You try and deliver there a lot, don't you, Brad?
I can tell. Well, that's actually my route.
Oh, yeah, right. 3 times a day.
I have Cherokee, Bryson City, and Andrews, and Robbinsville.
Wow.
Robbinsville's pretty cool, too.
Yes, it is. I've been to all of those, and Andrews is a cute little town, too. Andrews has got some amazing historic homes there, and it's so funny because it's so far out, and it's up there. For those of you who don't know where we are, if you go to Waynesville and keep going basically for about 2 hours, you end up in Andrews and all those little towns there, and then they're very close to the lakes, so like Lake Santitla, for example, which is also very popular.
Right. Yeah, we actually made a little joke about it. We call it the place that time has forgotten, and I guess people have too.
Yes.
It's really out there, and it's beautiful. And not only that, if you go just a little bit further, downtown Murphy is
Yes.
incredible. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
it's just awesome.
What-
So, I mean, just some of those far western cities, little towns.
No, that's a really, really good point. Thank you for that. So do you want to take a shot of any of our trivia questions today? We've got a whole bunch for you that you can answer.
Well, I think I might know where the pineapple came from.
Oh. I'm glad you
Yeah.
do, because I don't.
Well, I'm going to say South America.
Yep, that's right.
Yay! And do you know that?
Did I win
Because
a prize? I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
you do win a prize. You go to realestatenewsradio.com and click on win a prize. And that is a handmade mask at Sunshine Trading. It is a beautiful cocktail at Jargon's in West Asheville. Both of those are in West Asheville. The other one is in the River Arts District. Yeah, we've got some great prizes for you. We've got a $25 gift certificate for French fries, which is just off Longsholes Road. Great restaurant there on the corner. And we've also got something, if you're in Fletcher, Johnny Mac's in Fletcher.
And I go to what website again?
realestatenewsradio.com. That's where you can find Real Estate News Radio. Just think about real estate, because that's what we're meant to be talking about. Newsradio.com.
And I got to say one more thing.
Yes.
The Latino guest you had today, back when I lived in Pittsburgh, I dealt in a casino,
Yeah.
and I had so many Latino customers that sought me out to be their dealer. We had the most fun in the world. When they would get big, they would be like, boom, shakalaka, and the whole casino would know it. You know what I mean? And they were some of the most loyal, diehard, kindest friends that I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
I can't say enough good stuff about the Latino people and the way they are. They're just super kind-hearted, really great people. So
It's so interesting. So I feel the same way, and I did live in Miami for a long time too, so I was seeing real diversity across, I don't know, probably at least a dozen countries in South America. What stands out for me, especially with Alondra sitting here, is work ethic. She has an incredible work ethic. But here you are bringing the other side, which is the gambling. We have a great time and win prizes ethic. I love it. We've got both sides of the coin.
it's been great talking to you guys. Y'all have a great day.
You too. You have a wonderful day, Brad. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
And that goes for anybody else as well. If you'd like to listen to podcasts of the shows, we've got hundreds of them on there now. So if you'd like to know about different mortgages you could get, or what you should think of when you are selling your home, or, oh my gosh, all kinds. If you're divorcing, if you're a senior that's thinking about going into assisted living, I'm trying to think of all the other topics that we've been doing over this is year 11. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
This is show number 609. Am I right? Yes, 609.
I don't know, because I wrote all over I've been writing notes all over the little page you gave me. 609. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
Lots of real estate topics. I've been so blessed over these last 10 or 11 years to, I tell people I go to real estate school for 1 hour a week, and I have for the last 10 years.
well, we might have to get some real estate in today in that case.
Okay.
But of course, that's where we started with how, mortgages are now out there with. What shocks me, honestly, a little bit is that we're putting mortgages out there with nothing down. I'm all out for helping people and getting real estate being affordable. But, nothing down and no credit checks. Like, huh?
That's exactly what set up the crash of 08.
Exactly.
That kind of lending.
That's what Randy, my honey, said this morning, and now Randy, my producer, is saying it as well. They're also giving down payment grants of up to $15,000. And so it used to be with affordable housing that you had to be lower income. However, that lower income has pretty much been doubled in this program. So, for example, and this is almost funny, in Los Angeles, you have to earn below $100,000.
Wow.
So now we're talking, low income is $100,000.
A lot of people are eligible there.
Well, how many people? Right. How many people do you think in this area earn $100,000 or more? 1%? That much?
Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Probably not that much. Probably 0.5%, actually. So I'm sure it's a lot. I don't know what the amount is here. Of course, this just got launched, and they're testing it out right now in major metro areas, one of them being Charlotte, which isn't very far away. But that's where we started with. If you just tuned in, we started with the new program from Bank of America that's offering loans, targeting loans at Black and Latino neighborhoods. And it's a community affordable loan program. There's a special bill that they brought out years ago that they're using for this. And it's a special purpose credit program. I can't believe I just plucked that out of nowhere. If I'm getting this right. Special purpose credit program, SPCP. And it was first created by the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. I'm sure that's a gazillion years ago, and they plucked it, they dusted it off a shelf to be able to do this. Because obviously it's going to create a big stir up when you're saying this is for blacks and Latinos, and it's not aimed at white folks. Sort of interesting. And apparently it is, but it's actually targeted and marketed at those neighborhoods. So kind of interesting. So our pineapple went away. What else do we have, Alondra? Give us another
trivia question. What was the original name of the search engine Google?
Was it something else?
Apparently.
I did not know that. I did used to. What's funny about that is I used to teach a Google class, and I was a Google beta tester back in the day with Google spreadsheets, believe it or not. And it all started Google started in a garage with 4 people, and he had a big vision. And the first thing he wanted to do when they moved out of a garage is hire a personal chef. Isn't that interesting? Of all the things that you think might be his big vision, which has been my dream for a long time, and he made it come true when they left the garage.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And who wouldn't want a personal chef?
Goal setting.
Yes, right? Yes. Doesn't that sound great? Don't forget, honor your person in the police force. If you're in the police force, would like to hear about you or one of your buddies. 828-240-9962. I should have asked Brad, actually, whether he's had any dealings with the police force recently. They've had a really hard time, particularly in Asheville, with the Defund the Police movement going on, and which, if anybody can explain to me what that's about, I'd be all ears, because it's a very strange thing. And there's all these other programs, of course, you can put into law enforcement, but then why would you take the police out of there? It doesn't seem to be doing so well in the big cities where they're actually doing it, but there you go. Hendersonville's still pretty safe, I think. But we'd love to hear from you. If you're in the police force or you have family members in the police force, tell us what's going on in your worlds right now. Of course, I mentioned that as well because we do a lot for Homes for Heroes. We're over $800,000 given back at this point. So for police, for military, go ahead, do it, Alondra. You do it every day.
For if you are in the police force, firefighter, healthcare, teachers, yes, teachers,
firefighters.
Yeah,
we got them all. And veterans and active military.
Yes.
I think we got those already. This is Rowena Patton with and Alondra on the Real Estate News Radio Show, and let's not forget Randy. And if you want to buy or sell a home, give us a call. We have people standing by right now to take your call. 828-333-4483. 828-333-4483. And if you are in the police force, firefighters, if you're a teacher, if you're a healthcare professional with a license, if you're a veteran, or if you're active military, the average rebate check is about $3,000.
Yes.
We give you back 25% of our commission. So that's why I say the average check, because obviously if you're spending more, you'll get a bigger rebate check because, we give you nearly a quarter of what we earn. We give up a third of what we earn to be able to serve you.
Yes, and it helps a lot of people. I was talking to somebody last week who and it was a lady. Her son was a veteran, and he is kind of handicapped right now because he had a head injury. But they're trying to find a home for him, and so I told him about our program, and she got very excited and she loved it, and so it helps people, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? And this came from a program that A long time ago. So when I was first in real estate, the first 6 months I was running around like I'd eaten a live bat and my head was falling off. But when I got my feet, when I got a little settled, it was really the middle of 2007. I wanted to create such a program, and then I found Homes for Heroes, and I thought, well, why would I create it? And we jumped in there, and we've been helping ever since. So, it's a very small thing that we do for people that give an awful lot. And we're very proud of the fact that we've given back over $800,000. I'm more proud of my team, honestly, because, they give up a slice of their commission check and they're very happy to do it.
And that shows up right there on the closing statement. It's not $3,000 worth of French fries certificates.
Exactly.
It shows up right there on the.
We could do that as well. I'm sure Eddie will give you. That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? I'm going to talk to Eddie Sasser at French Fries and say, so what will you do on the back end? Can we get $10 in French fry certificates? Something that would be. Oh gosh, I should get certificates from all of them, and we could do it in the closing bag.
Yeah,
that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be great.
Blinding glimpse of the obvious there. What I call a BGO. I think that would be a very good thing to do. Let's take a quick look, see if we've got any new listings. We have some fantastic new listings coming up. We have one, for example, that's a small home in Arden, definitely a fixer-upper. It's going to be $300,000.
Wow.
And it's on a big lot, and it's about...
in Arden.
In Arden, yeah. Pretty cool home. It's definitely a fixer-upper. However, the roof's in decent shape. The bones are there, but you want to redo the kitchen and the bathroom and all that good stuff.
Right.
Let's take a look at what else is out there. We have the most fantastic one that is Haw Creek. So it's about 7 minutes from our office. If you don't know where that is, it's downtown. And so very close in. However, it's on nearly 2 acres.
Wow.
And there are 2 creeks on the property. The home was built at the turn of the century, and I don't mean the one that we've just passed. Somewhere around 1900.
Yeah, it was 1900. I remember that.
Yes, because you did we do what we call a cellar intake, where it's often Alondra talking to you, and she'll ask you questions, and I should have asked Alondra to tell you all about the house. It's a fantastic house, and it's also got a home next door that you can rent out, that they are currently renting out, that you probably get about $1,500 a month for.
And I believe it has a mother-in-law apartment, does it not?
Exactly right. Mother-in-law suite in the house on the main level as well, which is great. And in the rest of the house, it's got 5 bedrooms.
Yep.
The land
big house.
The land is incredible. They've had goats on there. They've had horses on there.
Wow.
Apparently, because it's in the city, you have to get special certificates for that. But it's got the creek running through it, and it's in Haw Creek. It's Haw Creek's fairly quiet. It's just east of Asheville. And you get the great thing about living close to a city but feeling like you're out in the country, which you do in this home, is that you get all the deliveries. Am I just spoiled? The night you don't want... I used to live out in Black Mountain. I think they just delivered from Pizza Hut or something. And I'm not really a pizza girl.
That is something, that you really need to consider in looking for a new home. I just blindly leased a home way out in the country one time for a year. There was no internet service.
Oh, Lord.
When you get there and you've all of a sudden, what have I done?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to develop a questionnaire that looks at because most people are coming in to. So here's the deal, guys. If your home is worth over $400,000, in fact, let's take it across the board. You all know we have a lot of people moving into the area that are not from here, right? They don't know the areas, but here's the other clue. And this may stem for you too, if you're moving somewhere else or you're buying another house. Maybe you're right-sizing. Maybe you've got the 5-bedroom home and you're wondering why you've got 5 bedrooms when there's only 2 of you or 1 of you, and you're heating all that and cleaning all that. And finally, you get your head out of the sand and say, we're at the top of the market. It's already crested. It's going to be another 7 to 11 years. Are you listening? If you're selling your house, 7 to 11 years before you get the money out that you can get out now. We have crested already. The cycle is 7 to 11 years, right? Have you got that long? Well, I hope you've got that long. I mean, have you got that long to wait? Are you comfortable waiting that long before you get your money out again? We can make it painless. But a lot of people just are choosing based on the fact that they want a single level home. What else do you like to do? A home is just a box. It's a box that you can make beautiful and make beautiful memories there. But what else do you like to do? Even if you're disabled and you can't get out of the house, or you're elderly and you don't want to go out of the house, then you can get deliveries if you are closer into a centre. By the way, I'm not suggesting you need to be close into a centre either. You might like to be isolated. You might want to be, on a big farm and raise your kids away from everybody. There are lots of people who want to do that. It's all fine. But the people who don't have something very specific often don't know what they want. You talk to people all the time, Alondra. Would you say that's true?
Yes.
You have to dig a little bit. They go 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, master on the main. Master, we can't say master anymore. Owner's suite on the main, a fence yard, views, of course. They always like views, but the others are a sort of a given. Well, we know you want those, but here's the thing. Maybe you want a school district. That's going to define it. There are so many other things that you do that we're not thinking of. For example, if all you care about is a 20-minute commute, we can draw a polygon around the highway where you can get much further than you think you can in 20 minutes. Well, maybe not right now. We'll give I-26 just a little bit to get cleaned up. But you get my point. We can go around the major roads, and there may be areas you're not thinking of where you can get twice the home, in a bigger yard or be closer to the school that you want or something like that.
Yes.
Obviously, if your kids are loving the school, you don't want to move them from the school. But there are lots of other factors that you may not be thinking of. And I really, advise you to delve into that. Do you love delivery food? If you haven't ever had delivery food, if you are close to a bigger centre, or even if you're all the way down Hendersonville Road, you could be 15 minutes out in the country, because that's what the mountains are, right? You could be 10, 15 minutes out from Hendersonville Road and still get any kind of delivery you wanted to. And lots of independent stores deliver too.
Yeah.
We're not talking about McDonald's or something. Sorry, McDonald's. It's not like, come on, we all like the fries, let's be honest.
Yes, their fries are yummy.
Yeah, that spicy chicken sandwich is pretty good too.
Yes.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I'm not doing it. Definitely not doing it. I think I've got about 30 seconds left to talk about our listings right now. We have a 6-bedroom, 2-bath. All you got to remember is Cougar. Who's a cougar in the room? 37 Cougar. Just write that at mountainhomehunt.com. We're going to go through them all our new ones in depth next week. And it's been great being with you today. And thank you for being on, Alondra and Randy,
you for
of course,
having
as
me.
ever. We'll see you on the radio next week. Bye!
Bye.
This has been the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton. Visit Rowena and post your questions at radioasheville.com or call her at 828-210-1648.